Welcome back to Market It with Atma, where we share the tips, tools, and strategies to help your business be successful. I'm your host, Story, and today we have on the show an inspiring individual who I personally love. She is the president of Insurance Made Easy, Mrs. Danyelle Fredrick. Welcome, Danyelle.
Hi, thank you, Story. I am really excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're on the show and everyone gets to hear your story on how you came into the insurance industry and what your personal mission is kind of in this industry. Can you share that with our guests today?
Absolutely. So I got my license in 2021, and I started in this industry because my mom had been in insurance for almost a decade. Wow. And her and my aunt, actually my aunt's been in it even longer than my mom, and they were partners together. Well, in 2021, my mom got sick, so I got my license, and I took off and spent 6 months with her to help her and grow the business and make sure that this is something that we could keep on for generations.
Wow. Now, were you in the insurance industry at the time you started helping your mom, or?
I wasn't. I was in a completely different industry. Still helping people in service. That's truly something I feel like is in my heart, is service. And I used to be actually a restaurant general manager. And then when my mom got sick, I went and helped her. And then in 2023, I was pregnant with my first child, and my mom passed away while I was still pregnant.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's been a little tough transition, but I like to see it the bright way. My mom left something for me to be able to pass on to my daughter.
Right. And so you inevitably kind of took over your mom's clients and her business, right? So that's no small task.
Yeah, I did. I contacted every one of my mom's book of business individually. And reached out and let them know, hey, my mom had passed, but don't worry, you're still going to be taken care of. I'm Danyelle, I'm her daughter. I'm going to be taking care of you. And many of them already knew me from having worked with my mom.
Yeah.
So that transition, her book of business, my mom was that person that she really built that connection. And so for me to be able to reach out, I have so many people who accidentally call me Chrissy still. So
that's so sweet. It's almost like a testament to your mother every time you get to talk with them. So that you mentioned the transition. How was that for you personally and professionally to transition from a general manager and speaking with people every day in person to taking over your mom's legacy? Like, was that difficult? Did you find it almost inspiring to be doing what your mom was doing?
It was a big change and transition for me. Not only was I taking over new business, I was a new mom.
Right.
So It was a big shift. My Aunt Tamara actually was phenomenal in helping me. She had been partnered with my mom before, and she helped me make that transition because I knew what I was doing with the basic building blocks. My mom gave me that foundation in insurance, but I didn't know how to run a business, not insurance, not by myself.
Right.
I knew how to run a restaurant, like the day-to-day operations, but I did not know the step-by-steps and how to promote and be in charge of my own business. So that was a big one for me.
I feel like with any entrepreneur, when you jump into it, especially the way you did after a loss, you're used to the structure. You have a corporate office that gives you the structure, and you have to make your own structure. And then you're making your own structure at home with your new child. And so I can't imagine having to take on all that at once. But through you helping me, I've personally seen you do it with such grace and personality. And you're like one of the happiest people I've ever met. So I want to ask kind of, how are you doing with not only managing your mom's current clients, but growing that business? Because now you've jumped into it full force, right?
Absolutely.
So how have you been kind of outreaching to bring in new clients, or even are you even trying to bring in new clients?
I am absolutely trying to bring in new clients. My primary way of growing my business is through referrals. So a lot of my mom's clients have passed me referrals. But honestly, I've gotten on my own social media, and I am actually a part of a biker community. So my husband's in a Christian biker club, and we post on there and have not just done that, but gone through our own little biker community. And that's something people don't really realize there's so much goodwill and charity and family and brotherhood in that community that I have found so much support that it's been phenomenal. So I got several clients just from just reaching out to my own friends and community that way.
Right.
But I actually also joined, as you know, a networking group called BNI. And that has been phenomenal for me, just not as a place to get referrals, but as own personal business growth, because I did jump into not really knowing how to run my own business. So I've been able to grow and meet people who are really kind of either have been through what I'm going through or are on the same path or going through it right now as a solo entrepreneur.
Wow. And I know you and I are in BNI together, but I think most people, when they think networking group, they think, okay, we're going to pass referrals. But I don't know about you, but I feel like you have a mentorship program almost. It's like you have such a strong community in our group of BNI, especially. I don't know if it's for all of them, but I've learned a lot from you, from other people in the chapter. Is it the same for you and that relationship building?
Absolutely. BNI has changed my outlook. I'd never done any real formal networking because it was all new to me.
Right.
And actually our president, Dr. Joe, reached out to me. He found me through an ad I had on Facebook when the Arlington business marketing, and I had made a post, and he reached out to me about BNI, and I was so skeptical. It sounded too good to be true to me. And honestly, it has changed the way I do business.
Wow.
It's made me realize that there are structures that apply not just to my industry, but all industries generally to help run a business.
Right. And you've seen a lot of success in that group and the structure that it's created for you.
Absolutely. I have already, so I took over my mom's book, and I have almost, if not doubled it, I'm like right at doubling that book of business. And
wow.
That's just since I took over, and that's the 1.5-year span.
That's incredible. So I don't think we've talked about insurance, but what type of insurance do you help people with?
So my primary focus is individual and family health. So
okay.
I do anything for a human being. I take care of people. So, dental, vision, major medical, accident, cancer plans, life insurance, anything that's going to take care of you and your family. Let me help with that, because that's my goal.
Right.
I want to be able to take care of people like I felt like my mom did for us.
And how do you approach those clients, and how do you work with your clients that separates you from these other agents, I guess you would call it, or entrepreneurs in the industry? What separates you from the rest that help you make your success so far?
I would honestly say I'm not there's a horrible connotation with agents. It really is, and it makes me really sad. But they're a fly-by-night. They're looking for themselves. I'm not going to try and do that. I want to make sure you get what fits with you and your family, your budget. I want to make sure, if I don't make the sale, I don't make the sale. That's fine.
Right.
I'm going to be able to help you, educate you, you know what you have and you know how to use it. Because if you don't know what you're paying for, what use is that to you?
Right. And I feel like when I've worked with agents in the past, it's almost intimidating because we don't understand the industry. We don't understand what you guys are saying. But I feel like you walk through a process with visuals that I've never experienced with another agent before, and really help break it down, the understanding of each and every offering that you have and the cost associated. So I know you helped me with my insurance and my husband's. You've also helped other people kind of within our network. But I feel like your interest in what we have going on right now is really how you kind of build what plan is best for us. Is that kind of right on?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want you to know what you have. So yes, there are a lot of technical jargon that insurance agents use.
Very much.
Yeah. And if I hadn't been around the industry, I wouldn't know what it was.
Right.
So that it's not taught in schools. It's not, sometimes our parents aren't educated in this. So I feel like it's my job as an agent to be able to tell you, hey, this is what this means and this is what it does for you.
Mm-hmm. And to that point, many business owners face challenges in educating their clients, and not only that, but also running a business. So how do you balance working on your business and while working in your business? That's a lot.
It is. It definitely is. I honestly have big peaks in time. So most health agents, we have open enrollment. So it's that 10-week busy period. And that's the time where, honestly, I don't focus on a lot of personal business growth. I focus on my clients, my business, like on a case by case. Let me make sure who I have taken care of, I get taken care of. Mm-hmm. And I will still grow within that because I get a lot of referrals during that time period, and I do encourage that. But my primary concern is my existing clientele, to make sure that they're taken care of first.
Absolutely. I know you take care of me even when sometimes I'm not paying attention. I'm like, Danyelle, help. You're like, I told you to do this already. So thank you for that constant reminder. So as you know, in Advent Trinity, we have kind of the build, launch, grow, scale methodology that we have our clients follow and we follow as well. Where would you say you're at in the build, launch, grow, scale phase of your business?
I feel like I'm probably definitely at the build stage, but maybe like encroaching upon the launch.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like I have that strong foundation and I have that piece. I just need to take it to that next level. I feel like that's where I'm at.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your goals for this upcoming year? Since you've already doubled your clientele this last year, what are your goals for this next year?
My goals for this next year is in 2025 season to add an additional 150, which is I feel like it's a reasonable goal for the year. Mm-hmm. So primarily you do most of your client growth in that 10-week period, and your off season, because of the regulations, you have to have what's called an SEP. So a special enrollment period to be able to enroll in major medical at that point, anytime outside of open enrollment.
Yeah.
Because of those stipulations, it is harder to grow individuals during that off season. But that doesn't mean it's impossible, and it doesn't mean that I can't help them in a different way. If we can't do a major medical, there is another solution. We just got to work through it together.
Right, and actually sitting down with them and giving that personal interest in what's going on in their life, do you think really helps?
Absolutely, that one-on-one, because everybody's different. And I have people asking me all the time, hey, I have a family of 5. What is it going to be for major medical? Okay, well, that's fine. I'm super happy we got a family of 5, but there's sliding factors that it's individually based. I can't give you a generalized quote because there's not a chart for me to look at. It's sliding factors for everybody, and everybody's different, just like everyone's health is different.
Right, and I'm sure that can almost be frustrating at times if you have a client or a prospective person coming in and they really just don't understand. So that's entrepreneurship though, right? I mean, you go through highs and lows and tough days. How do you get through those tough days? Especially what keeps you motivated during those highs and lows and your busy times and being a mom and helping other people?
Really being a mom.
It keeps you motivated.
Yeah. And my mom wanted to be able to have this business to pass it down. So now that she passed it to me, maybe not the way we wanted or expected.
Right.
But I want to be able to do that as well. I want to pass it to my children, and I want them to see that you can do what you want. You can be independent and still have a family life. You can do this business, not just this business, any business that you want. You can do it and still have a family life.
That is wonderful. It's almost inspiring. You make me want to go into insurance sometimes.
That's okay.
Yours anyway.
Look, I can teach you.
So you are kind of mentoring new agents. Do you help mentor new agents coming in or give advice?
I do. I don't have any individuals underneath me right now.
Right.
But that is one of my goals. It's actually a part of my 5-year plan.
Nice.
So I do have that. Yeah. I want to reach a certain base for clientele before I bring on an agent, because one of the biggest problems in this industry is it's so hard to get into it because it's not something you get into easy. It's something you have to start it part-time. You have to have a cash flow because the money doesn't come in. It's trickled down. So you could be selling. The first 6 months, I worked 6 months without a paycheck.
Wow.
So it's completely on commission base right now. Mm-hmm. And that's something that it's a struggle. That's one reason it's a struggle to get good agents, because they don't have it. They don't have that time. They don't have that monetary, backing. And that's one of the real true challenges of this industry.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. What advice would you give people that are interested in coming into this industry if they don't have a book of business, or if they know a few people that already need it and maybe start out with a small book of business? What advice would you give them if they're just coming in to help them over that hurdle?
My big advice with that would be, don't try to bite off more than you can chew, basically. Mine would be, if you have, your 9 to 5, you have, whatever your main source of income is, don't quit. Don't just, make it go away. Use this honestly as a side hustle until you build that book of business, because then it overtakes your income and then it's your main source of income.
Right.
I was extremely blessed to walk into my mom's book of business, and I see it that way. I see it as a huge blessing, even though it came through a hardship.
Right.
So for someone who is just starting, definitely use it as a side hustle. Make it, if you get 100 clients during an OEP, that's 200. I'm sorry, that's
a lot.
You get roughly, typically you get about $25 a head. So if you have 100 clients, then you're sitting there and you're at $2,500, and that's monthly income.
Yeah.
So that's something that you can supplement your actual income with until it overtakes.
Right. That's a great point. So on that point, for those who are already in the business but struggling to grow, what's one thing you wish you had known earlier that could help them possibly?
My biggest thing is, I wish I'd joined BNI sooner. I mean, really, BNI has really helped me grow. I am now in more circles and touched more industries since April than I have since 2021.
Wow, that's incredible. All through the networking partnership.
Yeah, through the networking, you have individuals that they think of you first. Right. And that's the primary thing. So I'm not saying there's not other ways, because I do practice grassroots marketing, and that's hitting the pavement, that's talking to people, that's, handing out flyers, and that's a lot of work, and you don't see as much immediate growth from that, but you still see growth. Right. So there's always growth within that hard work, but it's also, let's work where you're going to be able to get not necessarily an immediate return, but
a return on your investment.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's your time, it's your money, and it's how you want to spend it.
Right. Yeah. So if anyone wanted to join you at BNI, you do have visitors and invite visitors to BNI to join if they wanted to come and visit, or any networking group. If they're just starting out, would you suggest them get involved with some kind of group to help expand your audience?
Definitely. There's Chamber of Commerce. I've been to several over in the Arlington and Grand Prairie. I've been to several events in Chamber of Commerce. It's all about getting connections and meeting people, getting in front of somebody and building that relationship.
Absolutely. I would definitely say, because you asked me to have a one-on-one with you to see where I was and if we would even be beneficial. Knowing the relationship we have now and your authenticity, you will forever be the person I go to for this now, because I know that you're going to do it with honesty, integrity, and I truly appreciate that, by the way.
Thank you
so much.
That's the biggest compliment.
So if anyone wants to reach out to navigate through health, dental, insurance, if they already have it, but maybe they're paying too much, how can they reach you?
I have a Facebook page. It's Insurance Made Easy. I have my email attached to everything, and my phone number. So call, email, text, whatever's best for anybody. That's how I get in touch with everyone.
Awesome. And I'll be sure to add all that to the podcast when we post it, so they can just go and click and reach you. But one last word, is there anything else you wanted to add today about your business or where you're going, or any personal insights before we leave today?
I guess my only thing is this business is not where I figured I'd be in this point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy. I've never been happier to be wrong with where I thought I was going to be.
Sometimes you just don't know where it'll take you, huh?
Yeah, definitely. This has definitely changed my life for the better.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on the show today, Danyelle. I really appreciate all the value you've contributed.
Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all having me.
Awesome. And to all of our listeners out there, I'm your host, Story, and we will see you next time on Market It with Atma.